Rizwan writes down these three numbers, A, B, and C. So the ratio of A to B is 1 to 3, and the ratio of B to C is 6 to 5. And we have to find A to B to C. Now, the trick with these is to make the B's or whatever you've got double of the same. So we've got 2 lots of B here. And I can see that this B is 6. So if I just times up this side by 2, I'll get 3 times 2 is 6. And whatever I do here, I have to do to here. 1 times 2 is 2. So if I then rewrote out that ratio neatly, I didn't need to do anything to the 5 because that was already in the 6. So I would then have 2 to 6 to 5 as my final answer. Next it says, look back at question 1. Express A as a fraction of the total of 3 numbers A to B and C. Okay, so I've put my final answer here, my answer to number 1 here. So we've got to express A as a fraction of the total of the 3 numbers. So if we add up the total of the 3 numbers, 2 add 6 add 5, then we get to 13. And then we've got to express A as a fraction. So we literally just put 2 over 13. Before I explain this question, I normally take my questions from ExamQ, which is a free website online of past GCSE papers. But for this one, I use the Maths Genie website, Ratio Problems 2, question 2. Okay, now it says, given that A to B is 4 to 5 and B to C is 3 to 2, find the ratio of A to B to C. So let's write out what we have. We have A to B and we have B to C. Now we need to make B's the same. So if I write the numbers down, 4 to 5 and then 3 to 2, we need to make B the same. So I'm going to times my 5 and 3 to make 15. So my B's are now worth 15. So I think, okay, I times 5 by 3 to get to 15. So I times my 4 by 3 and I get to 12. Then I think, okay, 3 times what is 15? That was 5. So I times my 2 by 5 and I get to 10. Now I've got to write it in its simplest form. So I write A to B to C. And I will write 12 to 15 to 10. And we actually can't simplify this because although 12 and 15 are divisible by 3 and 15 and 10 are divisible by 5, nothing else works. So that is its simplest form. Work out 3.42 times 10 to the minus 7, all divided by 7.5 times 10 to the minus 6. Now, this is a calculator question. So to begin with, just be really careful and make sure that you type all of this into your calculator, making sure to open and close the brackets before you put the divide sign in, and then open and close the brackets before you press equals. Okay, now when you've done all of that, you will come out with the answer 0.0456, but that isn't in standard form. To make it into standard form, the number has to be between 1 and 10. So what we're going to do is going to do 4.56 times 10. And then we have to think, well, how many spaces do I need to go back? I need to go back once, twice. So that's 10 to the, oops, I've already got 10 there. That's 10 to the minus 2. So going back from here, that's 1, 2. I went back 2 spaces. 4.56 times 10 to the minus 2. Another calculator question. So first up, press your fraction button on your calculator, pop in the numerator, the top number, pop in the denominator, press equals, and you will get 2,300,000. Now we have to write this in standard form. So we'll write 2.3 times 10, and then we will count how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's 2.3 times 10 to the 6.